Clubs love shiny new toys. One late bolter, one highlight reel, and suddenly the market forgets actually who dominated all year. Tonight we're planting a flag. Two names, Dyson Sharp, Cooper Duff-Tytler. One is the best pure contested midfielder in the pool, a future 300 gamer. You build your engine room around him. The other, a 207 ground level ruckman who could be drafted as a forward and moonlight as a ruck forward under the new rules. But both, weirdly, have been undervalued. Let's fix that. Disrespected isn't about mock drafts, it's about process. It's what happens when hype cycles bend the fabrics of reality. When a late season surge happens, viral clips warp boards, crowds out-season long dominance. This class has a genuine bolter in Sullivan Robey, and we'll talk about him. He's a star in the making, but the pendulum has swung so hard that two of the most projectable team-defining profiles have somehow become arguments instead of automatic selections. Now, it's simple really. Here is the objectivity. Dyson Sharp, who is he? Ready-made captain DNA, the most bankable inside midfielder in the crop. You don't draft him to be a track meet winger. You draft him to win that first touch, set your midfield's tone, and carry the standards for a long, long time. Is he a pace merchant? No, but he's pace-proof, like all the best extractors in the AFL are. Cooper Duff-Tytler, ruck forward, listed as a ruck, but he tested like a wingman, plays like a key forward who can ruck when he needs to. He chose footy over basketball, then proceeded to have elite movement data, tearing up school footy, All-Australian honours at junior level, kicked 3 in the VFL for Essendon on debut. He's not a ruck prospect, he's a scoring problem that can ruck. If your board hasn't ring-fenced both, for me, you're chasing the wrong ceiling at this stage. So let's start with my South Australian captain, Dyson Sharp. Now, when you strip away the poise, you combine all the sprints, public big boards, novelty roles, and you ask yourself, who carried elite performance all the year against the best? The answer returns one answer, Dyson Sharp. A 2-time under-16 All-Australian, under-18 All-Australian, a Larke Medal winner, MVP, best and fairest across all the age categories he's played. He's done it in junior SANFL, he's done it in senior SANFL. He's got toughness, he's got technique, and people say it won't translate to AFL level, but he's been doing it all year against men. He's got clean hands, the competitive instinct, contested ball, leadership, tackling. And people say, oh, but he hasn't got a high ceiling, he's a high floor player. That is exactly what you want. And when you take 2025, he's added accumulation, scoreboard impact, and still bossed the inside. The narrative trap here for me is obvious, but speed and outside game, star factor. We've done this before. Every year the footy world overcorrects pace, kick flash, and forgets that good teams win the ball at the stoppage, build around their midfield, have aerial damage, their midfielders are good forward or centre, repeat entries become turnover opportunities. Patrick Cripps isn't a sprinter, Clayton Oliver isn't the fastest. Their gravity though, they hold their shape, win for first possession, make everyone else's life easier on their side, and the game for me in Dyson Sharp, he is the contemporary extractor, lightning hands, body positioning, anticipation, he makes superstars shine brighter. He's the bloke who gets there first, stands up in contact, and feeds them little wispy players. Those game breakers, the runners, look fast because he made it simple for them. So why the disrespect? Because the modern discourse loves athletes first, I think. Sharp is a footballer first, and when we do these draft profiles, this athletic profile seems to be so big on it. He didn't do the combine because of illness, so that has knocked him down. But now it's just convenient to say that he's not that good. But across the last 2 years of junior football, Dyson Sharp has been the best player in the country. If your club needs an identity midfielder, stop treating Dyson Sharp like he's a consolation prize. He is the pillar. You take him and suddenly your stoppage is better. Your centre bounce is better. You build your draft midfield mix around him. The line breakers work because Dyson Sharp. The defenders are cleaner because of Dyson Sharp. The forwards get repeat entries because of Dyson Sharp. He's the stabiliser. Every good side has him. Now, let's look at Cooper Duff-Tytler. Now, this is fascinating for me because everyone uses the phrase unicorn, rah-de-rah-de-rah. Some people bring up the basketball. For me, this undersells him, right? The Sharp system and Cooper Duff-Tytler annoy him. To me, you draft him as a key forward that can ruck. Now, he's 200 centimetres with a genuine ground-level cleanliness, right? People say he's not a tap ruckman. He isn't, right? His ruck craft is incredibly raw. But you look at what he does. Top 10 at the combine for time trial. Super fast 20-metre speed. He's a winger built in a big forward ruckman's body. Now, he'll be able to burst from the centre when he does take the centre bounces. His launch from there will be elite. Follow-up work, he'll act like a fourth mid. Repeat leads. But the big thing is, he is a natural goal kicker. When we saw for Essendon, he had 3 goals. He shone as an immediate problem forward line against men. He is a target. People are looking at him as a ruck who can forward. He's a forward that can ruck. He's an All-Australian. He played across the half forward in champs. And he has been the primary ruck as well for Metro. But we get hung up on ruck craft for me. Yes, his ruck craft isn't the best in the league. It isn't going to break down houses. People comparing him to Luke Jackson and mental. He isn't that ability as a ruckman. But when you look at the modern day rules, ball has to be in motion. There's going to be more transition. These mobile bigs are going to be really important. And his second and third efforts are really good. Ruck work is a learnable skill. What is rare and you can't teach is 200 centimetres who can move like he's 159. He is literally the archetype key forward who will pinch hit. So for me, it's quite simple. Year 1 and 2, 80% forward, get him working around the ground, stoppage ruckman, teach the bodywork craft at boundary, throw-in, centre bounce, and then hone his forward craft. Expand the next few years into maybe being a 50% ruckman. Everyone now, I think, with these new ruckmen, with the extra position on the bench, are going to deploy probably 2 rucks. But the way he plays would be more like a ruck rover chaos, as opposed to a genuine big ruckman. Because he is an endurance king. You keep his movement and his mobility is his weapon. That's his point of difference, not his ruck work. For me, the disrespect here is we've boxed him in as a ruck who might learn a forward. Flip it, he's a top 3 selection. A forward who can be a problem in the ruck. You evaluate him through that lens, suddenly you go from project ruck to game-changing big. When you look at TDK's late development, their moving patterns are so important. Yes, they're different players, but in the right ecosystem, he makes coaches greedy because you will win contests 2 different ways, in the air and at ground level, with a big who refuses to be stationary, which in today's transition game is integral. Now let's look at Sullivan Robey. Now let me be crystal clear. 192, powerful, great in the air, goal kicking, disposal getting. He is an absolute freak of nature. His late season isn't normal. He belongs in the top end, but the market is bending around him. Late noise makes people second guess the blokes for me who have done it from round 1 back in 2024 to now. This is where, for me, the disrespect creeps in. Now, I am not saying Sullivan Robey isn't a good footballer. He is class. He will be solid. But that shouldn't push down Dyson Sharp and CDT's ability either. They have done it from day dot. It's not either or. They should all be included. The draft for me at the minute and the boards are forgetting the last 46 weeks over the last 8 weeks. It's almost like doom scrolling. Now, I think West Coast are in the most fascinating spot. Pick 2 is insane. Now, pick 1, we assume they're going to take Duursma, the safest talent on the board. 2-way impact, leadership, versatility, no arguments from me. If you want floor and ceiling in one go, just say Willem, Duursma, move on. Now, number 2 would be take CDT. Now, I know what you're going to say, Pom, they've got tall stocks. We've got Archery, Jack Williams, Shanahan, Flynn, Bailey Williams, Barnett developing. Yep, they have. But CDT is a different gravy. He's not entering the same lane as them. He gives you a forward who stretches the field, a switch of shape in game, a follow-up ruckman, who punishes at ground level. His mobility is insane. He would be a very good second key forward from day dot. With the time and space and the development, he could be an absolute problem creator. You don't draft for list geometry. You've got to remember that. You draft to be a problem in finals. Now, Path C could be interesting. The hype around CDT, the hype around Sullivan Robey, if the hype keeps going, pick 2 might give you bids, which might give you even more bites of the cherry. 2 or 3 assets. So, for argument's sake, if you could trade pick 2 and you're not sold on CDT and it's early for Sullivan Robey, Sam Cumming could be there. Overhead threat, competitive, needs polish, but he hurts teams exactly what they're looking for. Someone like Doveston, blistering speed, defensive pressure, scoreboard impact. They've lost Flying Ryan. This guy is an animal. He is a problem. He creates scores and chaos wherever he goes. Oscar Taylor could be another option. Rebounding halfback, legit speed. He's incredibly quick as well. Combining him with the young players they've got with the kick in and dare suddenly changes you into a transition threat. His ability to flip field position and start in chains. And then there's a host of other players as well. So if you end the round, let's say you sold 2 and you ended up with Cumming, Doveston and Taylor, you're just adding power, pressure, rebound pace around the spine you've already built and are continuing to build. That's how you rebuild the game style. And I think with the hype, people will overpay. So the logic behind this is if they want certainty and leadership, right, after taking Duursma, right, you take Dyson Sharp. If you want a finals mismatch with a key forward that could change the whole system, CDT. And if you want depth and build a list, try and trade pick 2 that gets you Cumming, Doveston and Taylor. Whatever they do, though, for me, the one mistake is undervaluing the 2 blokes who have held form all year. The ability to pair Duursma with CDT and or Dyson is huge. Now, let's have a quick philosophy Pom ran. Right? The game is fast, but pace isn't a system. The system is the pace. A tone extractor like Dyson Sharp, who wins you first touch, absorbs contact and feeds speed. He is a shapeshifter ahead of the ball, right? So that just allows the other players. And then you've got the point of difference ahead. Cooper Duff-Tytler creates aerial wins, extends chains, mobility, and follow-up work. If you draft both of these archetypes and your aerial guys and your runners suddenly look elite, it's not magic, it's the sequence of events of how you build a list. Dyson Sharp, he has got some really strong traits. Contested ball, best in his class by a long, long way. Leadership, that translates wherever you're on. Clean by hand, improving by foot. He's added strings to his game with the forward rotations and the scoreboard threat. So this is an extra goal-kicking player. He is a high floor, but it's a captain ceiling. So stop overthinking the stopwatch for me. You draft the heartbeat. Dyson Sharp has to be in the conversation of the top 5 players. And Cooper Duff-Tytler, right? Draft him as a forward who will ruck eventually. A ruck in motion. Stop thinking ruck forward. Think forward ruck. The profile, the athletic profile of a guy with these physical traits at 200 centimetres, immediate VFL scoring impact, ruckcraft is teachable. Mobility, athletic traits are not. The upside for me is the modern day rules. Take the goals now. Unlock the ruck, who is a forward who may ruck and become like a ruck rover oversized. And there is the option there of taking Sullivan Robey. There's a legit rise. This guy is a powerful kick, aerial presence. He's done it in the big time. He belongs at the top, right? Don't let recency bias, though, arrange the season-long kings, is what I'm saying. Now, we talked about Cumming, Doveston, Taylor. If you could trade down for that trio, just for argument's sake, and make that any free. For Eagles, that's Cumming, right? Power, mid, forward, overhead marking, goal kicking. He is an absolute menace. Doveston, game-changing small forward. His ability and his volume is insane. You can improve the facets that he's bad, but his ability to manufacture scores out of nothing can't be understated. And Taylor, his rebound, his pace, his kick, he's got a rare defence-first habit with the ability to gain scores from the back half. His decision-making is elite. For me, we hype ceilings like it's a personality trait, but cold hard facts are cold hard facts. Sharp is the engine room You win because you build around him. Duff-Tytler is the matchup that causes problems for opposition. If the market wants to chase late sizzle, let them. Smart clubs plant the flag in the ground and don't take speculative risks. They take what they know. And for me, I think these two are being slept on. But I want to hear from you, right? If you had pick two, who would you take and why? And if you're West Coast, are you smashing Duursma, going CDT, or are you trading down for a power bundle? Or are you looking at Sullivan Robey and completely backing it in? Like if you enjoy these draft chats, sub if you want more deep dive previews. We cover all the AFL here. Thank you again for 10,000. That is absolutely insane. 2.5 million people have been viewed on this channel. That is insane. So I've been PommyInOz. Come and join the Pommy Army just by clicking that button. See you soon. Pom out.
Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.